Hey, what's going on everyone? Matthew from therighttrader.com here, back today with another cryptocurrency video. Today I wanted to go over and talk a little bit about some of the altcoins that I think are going to bounce, in the next couple weeks. I've talked a little bit about this in previous videos over the past week or two, but overall here I think the market is well set up for a bounce, and certain cryptocurrencies I think are nicely set up, risk reward considered. So obviously, I want to be clear that this isn't financial advice. I'm just here to share my opinion in hopes that, it can help your trading down the line. And otherwise, let's get right into, kind of what I've been seeing here. So the first thing that I'm going to point out is obviously, there's been a lot of drama with Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin, a lot of pressure on Bitcoin. And finally, we're starting to see some of that pressure getting relieved off Bitcoin. So it's up, about 5% here in the past 24 hours. Bitcoin Cash, moving lower now, going back down towards 1,000. I feel like it'll probably bounce a bit off 1,000 and get some support there. But nonetheless, it is falling, right? So that whole thing is kind of out of the way, at least for now. I definitely see a second wave maybe coming in the future, but there's no really telling when that'll be exactly. So right now, because there's some, strength coming back into Bitcoin, I think we're also going to see strength coming back into, the cryptocurrencies that were hit pretty hard in recent weeks. And those are mostly the altcoins. Now, I think, the general altcoin market will see a pretty nice bounce. I've already made a video talking about Navcoin as being one of the most undersold ones. But I'm not going to be talking about Navcoin today. I'm really going to be talking about some of the bigger ones actually out there. So mostly in the top 10 and Lisk as well. Because, and I'll go through the technical analysis on TradingView as well to just kind of explain, why I think they're nicely set up and why the general market is in a good position to help these coins move in an upwards direction, right? So let's start off with Bitcoin, and I'm also doing this because I did listen to your feedback and you really like these type of videos, so I'll try to do them as often as possible. I also have quite a few requests to make some kind of premium membership, so I'm trying to work on that, and let me know if you'd be interested in that. But other than that, let's get right into Bitcoin here. So as it has bounced, and it's currently facing a little bit of resistance here. We'll have to see how this plays out. But overall, if you look at the indicators and stuff, might see a little bit more consolidation, but relatively soon here, maybe in the next month, we should see maybe a test of 8,000, possibly even a break above that, right? Maybe 2 months at the most, I think, at this point, unless there's some kind of, disaster in the crypto market. But getting to the cryptocurrencies, I just wanted to cover Bitcoin really quickly just to give you an idea of where it was at. But I'm going to be talking, about, like I said, some of the bigger cryptocurrencies out there. And I'm going to start off with Ethereum, okay? Ethereum, I think, is well set up to make a move towards $400. I've talked about this a little bit in my daily crypto updates, and that's because it obviously took a hit now for a while. It's finally getting some nice traction and getting in an area where it has a bit more space to move. Okay, so if we look at the RSI, we're kind of out of this whole symmetrical triangle mess. The price is also out of that now, moving in this range over here where there's much more room to go, less resistance as well. And right now, the only thing really holding back Ethereum from a big breakout is going above $350, which corresponds to the high of this candlestick over here. And let me go ahead and put a black resistance line over here so you get an idea of where that is. That's going to be this line right over here. And so as you can see, that's not that far away from where we are now, and we just need a break and hold above that, and we should be able to basically hit $400 very quickly after that, right? And of course, if there's some kind of big breakout in the market at that point where that would happen, which we've seen that before, kind of when Litecoin reached $90 and almost 100 actually, and a lot of the altcoins were kind of breaking out at the same time, Bitcoin as well. So we could see something like that again, and then possibly even get the strength to move above 400, right? So that would be a pretty big percentage increase from where it is now, even just breaking, above 350 and everything, reaching 400. But ultimately, I think that if it breaks through this 350 area, we've already tested the $400 mark twice now, and I think the third time is going to be a charm here to really be able to break above that. So you know, it's pretty low here still. It's sitting pretty close to the uptrend line, and it has some good support moving forward. We saw that it didn't completely collapse over here when there was a lot of drama. So, you know, it's kind of like the only place where it has to go here is upwards, right? And MACD uptrending slowly. This is still the beginning of the move. That's why I kind of see it as a buying opportunity where we didn't really get the full breakout. Yes, of course, it has been moving upwards, you know, in recent days, but we're still, you know, in the pretty low area compared to where it can be, you know, even if it hits $400. So I like it set up here. It might see a little bit more consolidation, but you're just going to have to pay attention to when it hits this $350 area, which should come sooner rather than later. I'm looking maybe at a month out at the most. And I think definitely within, you know, 2 months if that doesn't happen, because I had made a prediction on, you know, $100 Litecoin for a month out a couple while back. That obviously didn't pan out. And just to be safe, I'll say 2 months, but I think probably within the next, you know, 4 weeks, we'll be able to get to see a test of this 350 and hopefully break above that. So Ethereum looking good there as well. And similarly, Litecoin, good old Litecoin, in a very similar position where, you know, Ethereum, I think it can hit $400 within maybe the next month. Litecoin, I would say, is pretty well set up to hit $100 within, you know, the next month or two at the most, right? So Litecoin is in a similar situation to Ethereum. Now, there's one difference that I would like to point out between the two, and I think that Ethereum is a little bit more in a safer setup, if that makes sense, as of right now, where Litecoin is in a little bit more of a make it or break it type scenario, right? And that's not to say that, you know, Litecoin is going to fail. I don't think so. It's just that Litecoin can seem to be a bit, you know, dormant a bit until it really gets its move. And what we're going to, I think, see is Ethereum, you know, making a pretty slow and steady climb towards, you know, 350 and then maybe a little bit faster towards $400. Whereas Litecoin, you know, is probably going to slack a little bit and then really get a big breakout, right? Somewhere in the next month, probably, like I said. So what we're going to be looking at for Litecoin especially is breaking above the $67 mark, which it has tried twice. And same thing, I think the third time is going to be a charm here. So we'll want to see a break above that, right? Hold above that. And normally, if we're able to do that, it should be a pretty powerful move, actually, up until, you know, this $83 mark where we have this previous candlestick over here. But really, you know, at that point, we're almost at the all-time highs, right? Which is just under $100. So I think that if we break this $67 level, we'll be able to, you know, reach the high $80 area and really just we'll make our way to the all-time high and hopefully break into that $100 range once and for all, okay? So I think this is going to happen soon because the market is kind of stabilizing right now before we can get that next leg forward, which is the leg that I'm talking about that will, you know, push Ethereum to 400, push Litecoin to over 100, push Ethereum to over 400, push Litecoin to over 100. And yeah, that's kind of what I expect. You know, if you look at the technicals as far as the indicators go, same thing. It's uptrending nicely on the MACD. RSI looks good as well. And it's just a little bit the calm before the storm. But this time it's going to be, you know, a little bit of euphoria probably, where people want to make sure that they get in before, you know, they reach those price points of, you know, $100 for Litecoin, $400 for Ethereum. And otherwise, couple that I wanted to point out as well, you know, IOTA. This is one that has really been acting better and recovering a lot of the damage that it had. So, you know, it's been downtrending. Currently broke out of this little resistance over here near 75 cents. And that is acting as support as of right now. So I think we'll see this one also getting, you know, a nice boost as the market really gets that bounce that I'm expecting. And that should probably push IOTA above $1, as you know, all these altcoins will, you know, presumably be bouncing, right? NEO not looking bad as well. You know, it's acting a little bit of a consolidation here for NEO. I feel like NEO may not have the jump at the same time as the others, obviously, because, you know, it's dealing more with Asian markets and stuff. But I do think ultimately that it will be moving higher as well, you know, towards its all-time highs. And as far as some of the other goes, let's see. Monero, this is one I've been talking about. You know, if we take a look, Monero is in a little bit of a different situation than Litecoin and Ethereum. But what's been going on with Monero is, let's see, sorry, I chose the wrong exchange here. Monero has actually been you know, it's been going through some consolidation phases, right? Where we had this big, long consolidation over here. We managed to break above that, which is actually a really good sign and kind of confirms the fact that, you know, this isn't just a fluke or anything. We're not going to come crashing back down. We're moving higher here, right? We may see some consolidation, like I said, but ultimately we should be moving higher. And if you look, we're not that far away from the all-time highs at 100, you know, about $66. So may still see a little bit of consolidation, you know, for like 2 weeks or something. But ultimately, if that altcoin bounce happens, right, and we get a little bit of that hype going, this one will probably get that nice breakout as well that it needs to go to that all-time high level. But I think Monero, since it's in sort of this very consolidation, you know, pattern, and it has a lot of kind of levels, platforms that it has to go through. Well, this is kind of the final one, but it may just need, you know, it kind of needs that real bounce to happen, the push, before it can really make a move to the all-time high, if that makes sense. Whereas, you know, Ethereum can already start moving up slowly but surely. Litecoin can probably get a pretty big boost as well, but that should be pretty sharp. And Monero, you know, even sharper, where it really needs the market to kind of tell it, okay, now it's your time to really take off, right, and go back to the all-time highs. And finally, the last one that I wanted to talk about, that's going to be Lisk. And so what's funny here is if we take a look at Lisk, we can see that this one is kind of acting like, you know, kind of like the precursor to what we're going to see with some of the altcoins in the near future. And it's already been going up tremendously. You know, it's getting a very similar move to what it had over here, and it's currently, as we're speaking, kind of testing its all-time high, you know, at around $8.63. So this one is just at the cusp of really breaking out. And, you know, it kind of got the move earlier than some of the other altcoins, but you have to think, you know, if Lisk is able to get this, of course, it's a good cryptocurrency, but the others should kind of see this similar recovery, right, as Lisk is doing right now. So that's good to see. Of course, with Lisk, a lot of the move is kind of already done, but, you know, it still has to break really above this final resistance level over here at $8.63 and hold above that, and then it should go and test, you know, $10, possibly even break enough above that if there's the strength. Wouldn't be surprised to see it if, you know, if it makes its way above this $8.63 area and really is able to hold and move towards $10. I wouldn't be surprised if, when the more general altcoin market gets its bounce, that Lisk will actually even go above $10. So that's kind of what I could see happening for Lisk at this point. And otherwise, you know, this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Otherwise, thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day.